Well, we're a little late tonight. My clock says 7 o'clock, but the computer says 7:10. So you have to, I have to apologize, but shit, that's just the way it goes. So let me go over here and we want to refresh this. Nothing much happens in the first half hour anyway, so what can I say? I turn this on. Save. Got to edit this so we get the chat up. Customization. Replay. Save. All right, we're good to go there. Well, what I've been doing today is painting. I'm pretty happy with the paint job so far. Coming along very nicely. I got metal shavings on me. Shoot. There we go. Got more paint on it than I normally put on. We're at 58 ounces as is, so I don't think there's going to be any urethane on it. It'll be just too damn heavy. So I'll just put some trim on it and some clear dope and be happy with it. Probably going to end up 62 that way. And to me, that's too heavy. Uh-oh, there it is. So we want a couple of pieces of wire here. These will represent the landing gear that I'm going to bend tonight during the stream. I'll bend them up. Let's see exactly where we're at now. I'm going to have to move this camera because it's interfering. Put that there. Turn this on. $59.95. So 60 ounces as is. So we're there. I'm basically stuck. I can't do too much more to it. It's going to have to be airbrush trim, 2 coats of clear, and that's just the way it goes. So it's 60, 61, 62, yep, 62, 63 ounces. What happens is, well, it would look nice with urethane and all that. It'd be so damn tail heavy that it'd be unusable. Then when you get into that, let's see that I went ahead and made it 65 ounces. With urethane and whatever, you got to add an ounce of nose weight. And why would I do that? So I always plan my airplanes I put the motor in and out of it, and I watch the weights all the way up until it's finished. Otherwise, you end up ridiculously heavy. Can't have that. Now, if you're looking to come in, the link is posted on Stunt Hangar. Let me make sure. We're going to, no, we're going to look on Stunt Hangar here, over here. Let's see, we got some, you guys, I can't read that all the way across the room. Bill Bailey. Happy, yo, like giving, okay. Let's make sure this is up on Stunt Hangar. I believe it is. I guess I could get my iPad and bring it closer to me. Let's see. At the bench. Yep, it's on at the bench. Because there just is no possible way for me to read that across the room. The print is that big. There's no way. Akbar Express Air Services. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to call this thing, the lumber wagon. 84 lumber or something along that line, 25 lumber. Because it's heavy. It'd be a good knock around airplane though. Here comes John. That's good. There you are.
How you doing?
Wow. Turn your mic down.
I can't.
Let me see what I can do here. Go ahead and talk so I can hear what's going on.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, let me see here. Video, you. Oh,
The mic is where it's always been.
yeah, let me go turn these other speakers down so that's way too loud. Okay, go ahead and talk.
Okay. So you've been getting some white paint on that model?
Yeah, it's all painted. It's all white. I've got everything finished.
Outstanding. What's the weight now?
Well, with all this crap on it, it's 60 ounces.
That's a little heavier than you wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, with no trim and no clear. So we're looking. I got to look to make it in no more than 4 ounces, trim and clear.
Yeah. Means a very simple paint scheme, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not going to be as elaborate as I wanted.
Well, how many square inches does that have again?
My dressmaker's tape. And approximately half of the, okay. 708 approximately, so let's say 700.
700, that's gonna be like, let's see, divide 64 into 700, and you should have less than 10, or a little more than 10, excuse me. So that's not bad. You know, if you can keep it under 13 square inches an ounce, you're in good shape.
The problem is balance.
Well, that's true. That's why I had to do the summing the forces on that push me pull me twin, because I knew with the engine in the back that it was gonna have to have a longer nose than what I was showing.
I've got a 10-inch nose moment. I wish I wouldn't have made it this damn long. 10 and 16 and 3/4.
Well, I suspect, just quickly trying to run some numbers in my head, which I'm not very good at, but I suspect you'll be all right. You'll be close enough. You won't have to put gobs of weight on there.
I won't put any weight on it, I'll hang it on the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, right now it balances, how about, well, we can figure it out here. Right there, it's about 3 inches back.
Well, that's a little on the nose heavy side. I can see that. Because you got to go off the mean aerodynamic chord, which is halfway down out the wing. And you want to, as a rule of thumb, you want to use the square inches as your stabbing elevator. Say if that's 24% of the wing area and flap, then you could balance quite nicely at 24% at the MAC. And 24% is about 3/4 of the way, you know, one quarter back.
About 3 inches back right now.
Running straight to the center of the wing, the half length of the wing. That's the mean aerodynamic chord. How far, if we run straight perpendicular to the fuselage, to perpendicular to that line, how far back are you?
About 2.5.
And what's the chord width there? The mean aerodynamic chord,
12-inch.
12 inches. What percentage is 1.5 inches of 12 inches? You got your calculator? I got one.
Got a swept forward trailing edge too.
Well, at this point, we're not going to be concerned with that. We should, but we're not going to. So you say it's 1.25 inches.
2.25.
To
Go right here, straight out from that. Right there. Darn it. Can't win. Right there.
well, that's about 19%. So you're a little on the nose heavy side.
Really?
Yeah. If
Yep.
you're wanting to balance at 25% or 20%, you're close enough, you know, if at 20%, and it all depends on the size of your stab and elevator in relation to the wing. If the stab and elevator are 20% of the wing, you're within 1%. You're in good grounds right there. So you may not, well, you're gonna put more weight on with the paint and the aft end of the fuselage.
Exactly.
So you're gonna have to consider skimping a little on the back or use heavier components up in the nose.
This does have a carbon tank in it, but once again, you start the barbell effect, you know. Put in a metal tank, yeah, the weight goes up. So then you got more nose weight, and then you know.
Yep, you're right. But it takes what it takes to balance. You got to balance to begin with, you know, and so to avoid the barbell effect, you gotta get that nose real close to where you want to be balanced at. And it might balance and fly just perfect. You might have a 20% stab and elevator on there, in which case it'll probably be just about perfect.
And I'll give you the numbers on that, and you tell me what it is. What do you want the?
I just want the medium chord on the stab and elevator and the distance from tip to tip.
5 3/4.
Hold on a minute, I gotta turn it on. 5.75. Okay. What's the span?
I'm working on it. Come on. 29.
It's 166.75 square inches. Now you had 700 on the wing, so let's see what that is. Yeah, 23%, 24%. So you can be a little further aft, but it'll fly fine. I think it'll fly fine where you're at it, because you're at 19%, you know, and that's a good place to start with. That you're just a little nose heavy to begin with, and it's not going to take a lot of weight up in the front to get it to balance. So you're not going to get much of a barbell effect if you're just adding like an ounce, because you got a moment arm. Your moment arm is computed from wherever the weight is to where the plane balance, where you want it to balance. Not from the leading edge, but from where you want it to balance. That's your moment arm. And so if you get your moment arm, say you've got a 10-inch nose and you got 3 inches of more, that's you got 13-inch moment arm. And that's 13 ounces with just 1 ounce of weight up front. That is probably more than you will need. I think you probably get away with less than an ounce of trim weight if you balance it way back. If you balance it where most of us balance, you know, right in there, that.
You're forgetting I have to add several coats of paint yet.
Oh, I know that. So, you know, it depends on what you do with the paint. But if you can avoid laying on too heavy back there and still get the finish you want, that'll negate the amount of nose weight you're going to need. But even then, you're going to be, if you do your normal finish, you might be at 17, 18%. A lot of people fly at 17 to 18%. You know, I don't think they do as good in the pattern as if they're back at 20, 24%. But you know, you can make it work. So you're not in a bad spot, is what I'm trying to say, Sparky. You're in a workable position at this point. But just knowing that you're going to tend towards being a little tail heavy will help you out a lot at this point.
That's why I always put them together and see where I'm at, how much they weigh.
Yep. When I learned how to sum the moments, I mean, you use summing the moments in gear trains, everything. It's everything. It's amazing how it works across so many different things. But boy, does it predict. I had to change from a real heavy engine or motor, engine on a Sheik's stagger wing beach that I was flying. And I had one of those wankles on it, and that weighed like close to 30 ounces. And I wanted to put Thunder Tiger 42 GP on it. And so I was able to take the difference in the weight, and I knew exactly how far forward I had to mount that engine so I could fly it without it changing any weight. And that son of a gun came right on, dead on.
Here's how I do it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you can do it that way, but sometimes you do it a couple of times. Um, and I'm not saying that I hit it every time with some in the moment. So boy, it made my life a whole lot easier when I learned how to do it.
Well, maybe
Now
you'll
I
have
got
to show
now
me.
I got to learn how to set it up in a spreadsheet, and I'm not real good on spreadsheets. I never had any training yet, so I got to learn about them. Because in a spreadsheet, all I have to do is just punch the numbers in, and the answer comes out the other end. I don't have to do a dang thing.
What I've done with this model, that was a mistake, is I've used too much paint. I'm already at, almost 6 ounces of finish on it with no clear.
Oh my goodness,
So it's going to be,
Sparky, I'm amazed you don't normally do that.
no, I get a total of 6 ounces on the airplane. This will
Yeah,
be, this will be 8 to 10 ounces of finish. But,
wow.
everything is, I went over it, and I even went to the AutoZone today and I found this sandable primer.
Well, that's good stuff.
This is U-Pull sandable primer in white, and pretty expensive. It's $10 a can. And I just used it to, I had some spots that just would not hide without putting a gob of paint on, so I just dusted some of that on it.
Makes a difference, didn't it?
Yeah, blocks it. Sanded it with 600. I paid attention to detail where the horn clips go on the flaps.
Yeah,
Usually you get dissimilar wood, where the plywood and the basswood and the balsa wood join together. There's always a line there.
right.
So I just put aqua green over it, block sanded it, put that primer on it, block sanded it, and then hit it with a white, and they disappeared for now.
Excellent. Hope they
But
stay. You could do a real simple trim, mainly with some stripes or something on the wing. I would look at it going from the leading edge to the back, 2 or 3 stripes in a couple of trim colors, repeat it on the stab, repeat it on the rudder a little bit, and put your clear on and call it done.
there's not gonna be a whole lot of paint, whole lot of trim color on it.
Well, white is a heavy color, so is yellow, but I like yellow. You know, I fly a lot of times where there's a lot of green trees and that yellow really shows up.
White is, like you say, a heavy color, but
Oh yeah, that's white lead, is one of the, no, I don't know if it's the ingredient and what you use, but that's how they got a lot of the white color out in Desa Pass is white lead. You remember that from when you were in the Navy?
yeah. Here comes Mark Gerber.
Hi, Mark.
Hey,
There's,
John.
there's Gary too.
Hey,
Sparky
Gary.
and Gary.
Yeah, hi guys.
Just us
Gary,
girls.
I ran across the pictures to send you. Is it too late to get it into you?
No,
Okay.
That's right. I don't have none.
Well, depends on how it works out for you. That could be a good airplane.
yeah,
I'd hate to see it hanging on the wall though.
I'll sell it. Somebody will buy it.
Oh yeah.
I hope it flies really good. Fly it at Brodak.
Yeah. Well, I've flown planes that that are in the 650 to 700 square inch, up around 65, almost 70 ounces, and they've flown well for me. But then
I know this airplane will fly up to 80 ounces, but the problem is, Brett Buck and I have argued about it. Yeah, the Nats winners are in the 70s. Okay, great. But when the wind comes up, and me being my size, it's a handful, and I just don't like it.
I hear you. It's like, I mean, I never thought of it before I saw him do it, but in that wind, not this year, but the year before, in the wind at the Nats, Joe Gilbert walking with the wind when he's doing his maneuvers. I'd never seen that done before. And it made perfect sense to me, you know. And I'm sure it helped avoid the windup in the wind for him.
See, I just leave the airplane in the car when it's that windy.
Well, it's like Bob Palmer, he had two airplanes. One he built as a wind plane and the other he built as a fair weather plane. They both painted the same. That's his smoothie. He liked the fair weather plane, a lot better than the windy one. But the windy one, he said, would perform in the wind better than the fair weather one.
So it was tail heavy.
I'm just
Well,
amazed we didn't have crashes at the Nats. It was in
22.
2022, yeah. I don't think there was a crash that I saw. And
The
that
year
wind was blowing like mad all the
Oh,
time.
man, it was.
the year that I wouldn't fly my Monado after winning the concourse.
Well, I don't blame you.
Well, it's a it's a high aspect wing. It's 10-inch chord and 62-inch wingspan. Yeah, that thing does not fly well in the wind at all.
I had to fly by twin flight streak. You know, not only was it windy, but the wind was gusting between buildings. And I tell you, I went by there. I got to see a three view of a 6.5, almost 7 foot wingspan airplane. I got to see the top, the bottom, the side. What view I didn't get was head on and the other side.
I lost my Thunderbolt down in Millington, Tennessee. And I had a long drive home with a broken airplane in the back of my car, and I vowed there that that would never happen again.
I don't blame you. Thunderbolts. That was Hunt's Thunderbolt.
No, mine,
Yours, okay.
the Billy Warwich Thunderbolt.
All right.
I have built 6 of those now. I won't build another one. I should have known. I was impressed with Billy's. And the reason why I was impressed is because his was 53 ounces. Anything over 53 ounces, that airplane just don't perform. Too heavy.
I don't have any of that good wood left anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think we're gonna get any for a while.
Yeah. I think Bob Hunt's got it all in his basement. And his son has laid claim on it as his inheritance already. So we won't see that come up on an estate sale when it's time for him to leave.
Well, I'm gonna start wood hunting here again shortly.
But you bought a bunch of wood from Elliot, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
I bought some wood from him too. He had some stuff is slightly thicker than a 16, so it's a 5/64 thickness.
77 thousandths, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I used to cheat the wing on my Bearcat.
Yeah,
Gave
I
you,
like it.
gave you room to sand and not get too thin too.
Yeah, and it doesn't, you don't get the waviness in it that you can get with a 16th inch. Not as easily anyway.
All those geodetic wings that I built for my June R's, and that was all 332nd.
I like 332nd. especially if you're doing a I-beamer, or even you want it to look like an I-beamer, you know. That thicker wood looks better.
I think wings need 1/8 ribs.
Well, I agree with you, but some people seem to try to do it with 16th.
I've done it with 3/32, but they really need 1/8. They look a lot better and a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finally got it. Okay.
Well, I've been working on that 10 and twin the last couple of days. I wanted to sheeted or a formed fuselage, but then I didn't want to have to spend the time to make the form. I know it doesn't take that long. I just am lazy. So, and I opted for it's almost like a strip wood setup, but it uses 1/8 inch balsa, but it's sanded down. You know, it's put on there. It's put on the flat sides. Then you sand it all down. Uh, it's pretty strong, and
It's strong, but it's heavy. Got a lot of glue. Glue in them stake, they're
well, those strips are, you know, over an inch wide. They're not the little ones, you know. So, you know, and if I use like white glue or carpenter's glue or something like that, it should hold down the weight. I know I can get it heavy if I use CA.
well, I gotta say that I really like that Type Bond 3. I've used that more than any, on this airplane than white glue I've used in forever. And
What do
it's
you
not
like? What do you like most about it, Sparky?
sanding. It sands good.
I like that too on those water based glues. They just sand real clean and
Yeah, but
you don't
Type Bond 2 doesn't. Type
doesn't.
Bond, Type Bond 2 does not. It does not. I don't know. It gets like rubbery and makes a ball, and then you'll dig into the wood. It's terrible.
Oh, gee.
But 3 is good.
Yeah, I'm using a lot of the Type on 3 on my new Bearcat. And
And it dries fast.
yeah, I mean, you clamp it in half an hour, it's stuck. You really can't stress it a lot, but you can take the clamp off and keep going, whatever you're doing.
Right. All the sheeting on the top block and the turtle deck and the bottom is the sheeting is all joined with Type Bond 3. Same with the sheeting in the wing. That helped a lot. Usually when I CA these together, there was always a problem. You get that hard line, and then you got to fill in sand and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have it with this.
I just
Well,
have a terrible time getting CA to go where I want it, not where I don't want it.
pick it up and just let us see it from the side view now that you got it all white. Would you?
I don't know. Put it back far enough.
Classic looking stunner.
Let me get the other camera. Let's see here. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah. That's nice classic. Now you got the forward sweep on the flap hinge line.
Yep.
How much sweep did you put in?
I think it's 1.5 or 2 inches. 1.5 inches, I think.
That should work out well.
It's a little hard to get a picture with a camera that close.
Gotcha.
Nice there.
It is a little better. there.
Looks like an SV11.
I was thinking that, this SV with a question mark,
That's
except for
nice
the
looking.
rudder. Rudder doesn't look like SV at all.
No,
No.
but the wing shape, the wing tips and the stabilizer, those angled tips.
Yeah,
Light streak tips. The reason why I did that, it's a foam wing. It's easier, easy to do.
yeah.
Lop it off, glue some blocks on, and round it off. See here. There we go. There. Still don't have a name for it. 84 lumber, I think. Or 81 or whatever it is. The lumber wagon. A lot of wood in this turd.
Lumber wagon number 12.
Oh, it's LW1. Lumber wagon.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a Sig Magnum too, in a way.
Well, the numbers are entirely different than all them airplanes. SVs.
Yep.
This is the Sparky. Yeah, it looks about right. I think it'll be all right. I mean, will it be a world beater? You never know.
You could call it the Tlartic.
The what?
Tlartic, Tlartic, like in heretic, but that looks about right tick.
Oh, yeah. Akbar Express. Oh, I don't know that I told you guys this or not. I think maybe I did after come back from Oklahoma. Did you know that Oklahoma has free restrooms with no purchase required?
Oh, really?
No,
Yeah.
what?
No
State-
what?
State signs as we're going down the expressway says free restrooms, no purchase required. First time I ever see anything that's stupid.
Oh,
I can't think of any other state I've ever been in that I saw signs, highway signs, free restrooms, no purchase required.
Well, it makes me wonder how many states do require you to buy something. The stores require you to buy something to use the restrooms.
Well, now with all that's going on, get a carload of people from the other side of the world to come in and use the restroom, take a shower in the bathroom, use all the toilet paper and towels.
Yep. Well, and for South America, they don't flush the paper down the toilet. They put it in the trash can next to the toilet.
I will
Because-
say that U-Pole sandable primer is some good stuff.
Yeah.
What is it, Sparky?
It's stuff that I got from AutoZone. It's where you are. There you are. U-Pole. Let me change camera views here. U-Pole sandable primer.
Now, Harbor Freight used to have a
I
good.
lost you.
They don't have it anymore.
Oh,
And the reason why I knew this was going to be good is I always do this. I went to Harbor Freight to see if I could get some of that primer. They had a different kind of primer, but it said aromatic distillates. That's garbage.
ah,
This one here says, let's see, where did I read it? extremely flammable, blah, blah, oh, there we go. In the contents, it has acetone, butyl acetate, ethyl acetate, methyl ethyl ketone, reduction mass of ethyl benzene, xylene, p-xylene, and carbohydrin C9 aromatics, whatever that is.
Probably not legal in California.
And well, it does say, oh, this is made in the UK, United Kingdom. Let's see, where the hell did it say? You know, it has the same California warning on it.
California's got a warning on everything.
Cancer, WP65 cancer warnings. Oh no, it's not. Manufactured by UPOL US Incorporated. Suite 300 Glen Mills, PA. Tech support. I might call them up and see if they're going to quit making that.
Yeah, if they are, you want to get yourself a case or two.
Well, I really screwed up with DC 540. You know, that was some good stuff. It was cheap. It was $3 a can. I should have bought a warehouse full of it.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
I have an old can of DuPont primer that I've been using for years. I just, it's really thick, but I mix it up with Brodak thinner and spray away, and it's compatible with everything I've put it on so far.
Here's the primer that I got. It's made here in St. Louis. This can weighs, I don't know, 15 pounds. This is Performance Coatings TCI lacquer primer. And it says mix 1 to 1.5 to 1 with acetone or color grade lacquer primer. Well, I went and bought a gallon of xylene, and I mixed 10% xylene and the rest dope thinner, and it works. I'd rather, I don't know, it's not as good as, I don't know what I did with the jar. It's not as good as DC 540. But that may be my mixture. I may need to experiment with the mixture on it. I didn't use any of that on this. I used all clear dope. Except for those couple of spots I had problems with.
I'd like to try some zinc stearate with some, like maybe 20% Dove Gray and the rest of it clear. I think that might be something to look into.
I had a can of it. I mixed some of it up. I don't like this stuff because it makes the airplane feel oily.
Oh.
After you sand it, it just feels oily.
So, but how does it feel after you put your color coats on?
I don't like it. I started to use it on this. Matter of fact, it does have one coat of that on this. And I sand it off and go, oh, I forgot why I don't use this. And it got oily. So I sanded it all off and just used clear dope. And then I put the white on it. I put one coat of white on it. Or actually 2 coats. And then I sanded it all off. And then I put 2 more coats of white on it. It started out at 35 and it went to 39. So I've got 4 ounces of color on it. I always weigh everything, between coats and try to keep track of that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, I know some guys that'll break out the can, and if they got a gallon of white, that's what they'll use, a gallon of white.
Already did that once with he was painting a SV, the Intrepid, and he's painting that, and he mixed up a bunch of epoxy paint, well, the good stuff, when we still had the good stuff. And he got it all covered that, he still had half a gallon, so he just put the rest of half a gallon on there. Oh, boy.
Jeez.
A year later, he was sanding it all off.
Hello, Stuart. You're in the dark there.
Yep,
But
almost.
I never made a mistake like that. No, never.
Well, I could have got by lighter if I didn't want to have well, it's not perfect, but a close to perfect paint job. If I'd have just put 2 coats on it and said that's good enough, that'd have been all right.
Well, you sanded off most of the first 2 coats you put on.
Kinda. You gotta leave enough dope on there to block everything. And not only that, let me this you know, if you think you can sand this all off and make it lighter, you can't, because the dope is sinking down into the wood. You can't strip it with stripper and make the airplane lighter, and I did it with the Junar, because I guess the stripper gets into the wood and pulls it all up.
Hmm.
As far as sanding, I don't believe you can sand enough off. But I'll be damned if I'm going to use silver like Winnie did. No way.
Oh, geez. See that airplane in the corner there? Can you see it? Right there.
The gold one?
Yeah, that's all rattle can finish over dope. That's from AutoZone, and that's their touch-up paint. And
Duplicolor.
yeah, Duplicolor. And let me show you a picture of that when it was new. I'll give you a minute and I'll find it, bring it up.
There's only one problem with that, and I don't. Let me ask you: is that thing cracking anywhere?
Nope. No, it's not.
How old is it?
I built it in 2009 or 10, somewhere there. So it's about 15 years old.
You're lucky, because that Duplicolor cracks. Unless you didn't use much of it.
I didn't, just enough.
I knew it did. John painted an airplane, and he showed me the back half of it after it was crashed. That thing was cracked up to beat all hell. The paint was cracking,
Wow,
webbing.
that's terrible.
I suppose that also depends on how much you put on.
Yeah, I think it does.
I've never had Brodak dope crack because the fuel takes it all off the plane before it can crack.
Well, I had blistering on the orange paint job on my XL. I did not know what it was. Could not figure out why it blistered and why it, bubbled and everything everywhere. And somebody made a mention on one of my old videos, which was painting of that in 2017. I went back there and watched that video, and it was right here at this bench. I used Brodak sealer on it, and that's why I did it. Don't use Brodak sealer. Never had that happen before, and I never used Brodak sealer, sanding sealer before then.
You want to turn sharing on there, Sparky?
Okay.
Okay. This is a picture I'm going to send to you for the calendar.
Cool.
Yeah, really nice.
Came out nice, didn't it?
You get that thing to fly well?
Yes, it did.
You brought it to Tucson one year and you didn't fly it because something was wrong with it.
Well, I had a problem. I had too much air intake on the front and not enough air exhaust in the back.
Oh, so the motor was overheating?
Yeah, so I fixed that, but by the time I got it fixed and that, it was pretty much too late. So then I brought it the next year and I fixed it and redid the cowl area here so that it was the right size. And I've got a Thunder Tiger in there. Is it Thunder Tiger? What's the one that Aero
Arrow
Tiger?
Tiger.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 35 and it's plenty of power. And I had to add a little bit of extra onto the elevator back here. But
Why does the head look blue?
that's probably when I had my Fox in it with the blue
Oh,
head.
okay, okay. That's not the Aero Tiger then.
No, that's not the Aero Tiger in there. But yeah, I've got it kind of ghost on the name and on the numbers over on this side. But I was real tickled, and that's all from the spray can selection at AutoZone. Just enough to get the color, and then I clear coated it with the clear dope.
I don't see it on mine. I just got a black thing with a green border on it.
Well, it's actually a dark blue. You can see it here. Now all
Metallic blue.
huh?
Metallic blue.
No, it's not metallic. Well, it has a metallic component, but it's like darker than Corsair blue. So it looks black sometimes in the sun, but all of this stripe here, all this back here is all that blue. And anyway, so that I really like that airplane. I got to cut in here and fix that flap horn. I had a problem with a lot of flap horn. A couple more in this series. Let me see here.
You still have that, John?
Yeah, I still have it. It's right over here in the corner, right over here.
Yeah. Back
Hey, you don't have your Santa suit on though.
No, there's the Raven.
Okay, now I got a picture.
There I am with my heyday. There's that. And let's see. Oh, come on, I should be able to.
Use your right and left buttons on your keyboard.
Oh, thank you. That's the VUM 18 Hungarian design, classically good flying airplane. And that's my, I call it as my Panzerflug, but I think it's going to get a rename. Flew good. When I rebuild it, it'll be flying on electric. Yeah, it's enough fun.
That's a mark right there.
That is Mark.
Okay.
I don't know which Mark he is, Mark 1 or 2, but could be a Mark 16. Let me share this too. There's where I'm at with the push me, pull me.
Neat.
And this is what I've been working on, figuring out how to get this done. Here, when I do that.
All that might.
Get this without dragging everything else there. Okay. That's the big former in the middle of the airplane. And there's how it works. These are fairly large slabs.
I gotta tell you, John, that's the heaviest way to do things. I would mold it if I was you.
Well, I've done it this way before.
I
And
know.
I would agree that it'd be heavy if I tried, like 1/4 inch strips. I'll try it once on this and then we'll see. See I want it to be able to cool and cool air in the front.
Because that's round, you could do that with 16th inch wood.
Yes, I could. That's for this one right here. But I want to build, air is going to come in here, and this bottom one will be air. There'll be a shelf here mounted on the bottom side of that shelf. It'll hinge up. Will be the not the timer, the ESC, and the timer. All that'll be under a shelf here. And then I want the air to come in. I've got quite a big opening back here to suck all that warm air out. That's where I'm going. And I may do a parallel thing with the setup as a formed 16th inch balsa. We'll see how it goes.
Got CAD, it should be able to plot them formers out, no problem.
That's right, I can. All I have to do is get these shapes and where they're located. And I mean, I did that for the Tony, for Gordon's Tony. All those the top and bottom blocks and all that are all formed on that one.
Yeah, you could use forms, and then what you got there, you can just optional. Yeah, if someone wanted to build it that way.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking of.
What the heck is Mike doing?
He's painting. You painting, Mike?
No, I'm brushing some epoxy on the front end of this RC plane that was destroyed.
Oh,
The whole nose was in about 40 pieces.
oh, goody.
Scabbed it all back together and then reinforced it. Now I'm just beefing it up with a little bit of epoxy. It was tail heavy to begin with, so all this repair work isn't going to hurt anything, I don't think.
Other than it might be 6 ounces heavier.
I don't think it's going to be 6.
2, maybe.
2, maybe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Joe, did you get to see where the push me fold is?
I did. I saw some stuff on it just now.
Okay.
You're making good progress on that.
Well, thank you. Try to make sure I got things that will work.
Sparky's got an engine in that airplane.
He's got that thing all ready for trim coats.
Yeah.
It's white and got an engine and a muffler.
We're working on it.
Cool.
Should be able to take this at your field and bury it in the ground all the way to the leading edge.
Let's try hard not to do that.
Don't do that.
That's great.
I was looking through some pictures and I ran across a bunch of pictures of a contest at your field.
Really?
I don't know who took them, but it was probably 10 years or so ago. I think some of those guys that are in there are no longer around.
Probably Elwin Odd took the pictures, I suspect.
Could very well have been, yes.
Yeah, the back end of my first Bearcat was not damaged badly during the crash, so I've been saving that, and I sliced the fuselage in half just in front of the stabilizer. I could get in there to get the tail wheel out of it so I could use it in my new one. And I thought I could just take that tail end with the rudder and the stabilizer and go put it in the grass, it would look like the plane crashed into the grass and buried itself all up to the tail.
Gordon has his
Quick
first
thing.
Tony, his first Tony. It's hanging on the wall. Actually, he cut it off right behind the wing, cut a square off, and he mounted it going right into the side of the wall. With the
Right.
tail. Everything is perfect from there back. The memorial to the first Tony. That
Need
was
to
the
put
one. That was the one that he lost the control on at the Nats and cartwheeled it across the field.
Oh,
Oh my. Nice little extra 300, is it, Michael?
It's actually it's called an MXS.
MXS.
Yeah, and it's based on a cap.
Nice looking kit.
Yeah, it's not mine. It's my buddy's, man.
Right.
He was gonna throw it away because I mean, I don't know if you know how they're building these RC planes now, but they're all laser cut, real thin stuff. And if you crash one head on, man, it just takes everything. The motor box is strong. It's strong enough for the motor, but if you hit the ground nose first, they just crumple. And he was going to trash it, and I said, "Man, give that thing to me. I need a little project."
Is that a foam board sheet on there that's on the back aft end?
It is. This is light ply and balsa, and then it's skinned in Depron. It's all
Wow,
foam.
that's cool.
It's Depron glued to the structure. The wings are the same way.
That's pretty cool. You see the wings, the wing mount is recessed in, so he just plugs in and aligns right as it plugs in.
Plugs in, lines up, and they've got a locking device in there that keeps them from coming out.
Paul's got the real plane.
Paul does?
Yep. You got the best one yet.
What's that?
I said you got the best plane yet.
Oh, that's my grandson's.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, that thing ought to get a good flight.
Yeah, he enjoys it.
You want to post a picture, Paul, on Stunt Hangar, open your Internet Explorer on your iPhone, go to YouTube and get the address bar address.
Yeah, that address bar. So my stupid smartphone opens up the YouTube app, and it doesn't have the address bar in the app. So that's how smart these smartphones are. It'll let me share. I can copy the link, but it's a different link than I think what you get from the address bar.
They're smart enough to make you buy the add-on to the app.
I'm going to buy me a Tesla phone.
It'll be interesting when that one comes out.
Can you fly it in the room, or is it's too big for that, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it probably my garage. It's a one-car garage.
It's too big for that.
Yeah, it'd probably hit the refrigerator or something. I need to get some of those little Maple Leaf planes, Joe, that you made.
There you go. They'll fly in there.
Yeah.
Glue a fly onto it and let it pull it around.
Oh,
You mean like those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Maple Leaf airplanes too. Are those the ones I built?
Yeah, Joe.
You still have those?
Yes,
Oh, my
absolutely.
Those
I
are
got-
4 year, 5 years old.
There's one more up there too. You gave me 3 of them. Still have
I'll
all
be
of them, man.
darned.
I got one
That's
downstairs
too
on my
cool.
workbench that's been
Yeah.
down there for several
are-
years too.
Those
That's
maple
cool.
leaf teas?
I don't
They
want to
make
fly it
cool
because I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. That one worked.
It worked. Better work.
That one worked too.
Good. Maple leaves. They fly. God made a wing out of them, so I thought I could make one too.
I got these in a glass display case, Joe.
That's awesome, Mike. That's so fun. Good for you, son.
Hey Joe, can you make up some kits of those things and sell them?
No. Walk around the neighborhood. How many maple seeds we picked up? I bet Clean I picked up 1,000 maple seeds. And I lay them out on the counters and I start making the wings that look alike. Then I cut them and make matching sets, and I make them, I don't know, 8 or 10 sets of wings at a time, and tails and rudders, and sit there and watch TV and make them on my table thing here. It's just messing. That's all. It's because I can. That's the only reason.
There you go.
Those I gave those to Michael. He let me stay at his house one time on a cross country trip. We had a good time. That's at least 5 years ago, wasn't it, Michael?
Yeah, it was 4 or 5. I forget
Yeah, I
where
bet
you guys
so.
were going, but
I don't remember either.
we were halfway.
Probably to Canton, Georgia, I bet.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we went from the north side in, not from going through Atlanta's a nightmare.
Yeah,
I think we went to your place and went south deck town.
yeah.
It's been a
Right.
minute since then, for sure.
As I recall, we had a pretty decent meal and
We had
some pretty good scotch that night too.
And you're correct.
You already
Correct
started.
in all accounts.
Oh, and we had the shooting range going. You and Colleen
We
were shooting
did.
pistols
That's
in my
right.
garage. That's right.
That's correct. That's right. We had some fine, I would call it tomato bisque soup, maybe is what it was called. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, that and some fancy grilled cheeses.
Fancy grilled cheeses that were divine. There's Mark. Stephen Smith showed up. Sparky's got that airplane about ready to paint, Stephen.
It's already painted.
We put some monocoat stripes on it then.
Yeah, it's already painted. He built that, and mine, I think, what did I added some fillets and some glass cloth. That was it, just 2 little things.
He said the
time.
nose is so strong you could plant it in the dirt up to the wing and it wouldn't break off.
And in the time I did those 2 minor things, he built a whole airplane.
He's pretty good at it. He don't sit and look at it. He sit and does something.
Right. Yep.
What you gotta do.
Tom Martin used to say, if you're not standing in front of it, it won't get done.
Not even.
Have you flown since you got back to St. Louis?
Yeah, I have.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I went out
Flew
and flew
on
today.
Tuesday and flew today.
That's what we did. I think we flew Monday to today. Maybe even Thursday. Monday,
took-
Thursday, and today.
Yeah, it kind of took well, we drove back on Monday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So maybe it
We
was
went out-
Wednesday we flew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was Wednesday. Weather was better. Wind was better on Wednesday.
Yeah, we flew Wednesday. The rain finally stopped here Tuesday from the hurricane, and Wednesday, yesterday, and today have been absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous tomorrow. We're going to fly RC early. Probably take a ringmaster, do a couple token ring because it's ringmaster weekend.
Right.
But we're planning on leaving the house at like 6:30, being at the field at 7, fly till about noon. bunch of RC and get some ringmaster stuff in, and then head home and head out to the lake and squeak out another boat day before it gets too cold here.
Yeah.
I think there was
Yeah.
at least 7 ringmaster flights today at the field. They got an early start on it.
Yeah, Dan McEntee got an early start today. He flew ringmaster a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Wind started picking up, and it's going to be worse tomorrow and really bad Sunday.
Is it?
When the weatherman says breezy, he means it.
That park you fly in, if it's blowing 7 or 8 mile an hour, it's going to be mean, in my opinion.
Yep, it is.
That's
And
all
that's
you're
what it
doing
was
is-
doing. That's what it was doing today.
All you're doing is fly around in circles. So why can that be hard?
All
Joe,
comes over the trees, and there's turbulence like crazy.
Joe, I saw a video of you flying in some wind at Muncie, and it looked like you were running, chasing the plane.
I did. I moved around a little bit. 5.5 second laps, too, if you'll count them out. That was a lot of nitro and rich.
I always ask
Long circles.
Jimmy, I said, how do you fly in the wind? He said, you just squeeze that handle a little bit tighter.
Don't argue with Jimmy. He knew.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, man. How's Mama Joe doing? She doing okay?
No, I think the girls, they put her in a nursing home. She kind of went
Did she?
down after Jimmy
No,
passed.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
We were at Brodex one time, and I'd carry my gypsy down to get it weighed so I could fly it the next day. And I walked by, and she said, "Oh, that's a pretty airplane, Joe." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Rub on it. Feel that finish." She said, "Man, that's a nice finish." And she jerked her hand back. "Are you flying against Jimmy tomorrow?" I said, "No, he's in a different class." She said, "That'll be okay then." She was a hoot.
Yeah. She told me one time, she said, Billy let me rub on his airplane one time. She thought that was funny. I got to rub on Billy's airplane.
She did mine. The finish was really smooth. You couldn't feel any of the paint lines on it,
Yeah,
She thought that was pretty nice. Jimmy could build an airplane as good as anybody.
man. He tried to teach me, but I was not a good student.
There's some of us, Paul's got champagne taste and Falstaff beer skills, I think.
Oh, I haven't heard of Falstaff beer. Are they still making that?
Is that right? I don't know if they still do or not. I don't have any idea, but
Oh
Yeah, they do.
man, I used to love Falstaff beer. I didn't
wasn't
think
that
it
the
made
cheapest
anymore.
beer you could buy? Wasn't that the cheapest beer there was almost?
No, actually, the cheapest beer I ever saw. I was in college, and it was called Narragansett Ale.
Oh my.
It was green,
Oh,
and it tasted like grass. It was awful. Oh
You know-
man,
you know- President 100 years old now.
oh, Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter's brother.
The Billy beer.
Yeah,
Billy.
Billy.
I thought that was green.
I don't know.
Somebody in San Francisco was marketing around that time, was marketing a beer made out of grass clippings. That might have been what you were drinking.
It might have been. I never heard of that.
Oh yeah. You wouldn't want to have it today because you don't know where the grass clippings have been.
We got to turn this a little more.
Get some grass clippings and I guess put some vinaigrette on it. Have a fit. I don't know.
There you go.
Paul's going to wear that rubber band out.
Yeah, it's just fun to do.
You got to get your McCoy 35 and a top flight wooden prop and oil it up. And that's therapy, just flipping McCoy 35.
You wear it
Top
out.
flight wooden prop. They just feel good to flip them.
Yeah, they pop.
I've got one, but I don't think oiling it up would give it much compression.
Oh shoot. They got, if you get it, they got a nice, they flip nice. A McCoy 35 just flips good when you flip them. A Super Tiger 60 will hurt you flipping them. Be careful with that thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of the guys that fly with us, that's all he flies is the old stuff. So he's got Foxes and McCoys and he keeps them clean and they flip almost first flip.
I started the Fox 35 today.
You know, somewhere in my collection, I've got McCoys from 049 up to 40.
Oh, do you
have-
really?
Yeah, but I
Uh-huh.
don't have the 60.
I don't have, I got a, well, I don't know, 3 or 4 35s and 3 or 4 book 40s.
Got the lightning bolts or,
I got both, I'm sure.
yeah.
I got more engines than I'm going to build airplanes for. I am absolutely positive of that.
Me too.
The
I
grandkids ain't going to wear them out.
I started out on McCoy's collecting them when I was collecting engines for that twin flight streak because Mark Fechner on his flight streak, he had a pair of McCoy 19s on it, and it flew just fine on that. So I thought, well, I'm going to build it, but I wound up putting OS 20s on them because they just ran better.
They were available too.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I got the plans for that from you years ago.
Did you?
Twin flight streak.
You never built it?
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
I should have.
Airplane to fly.
It would be a fun airplane. It's big. It does take a lot of balsa to build that airplane.
Well,
There's a lot of balsa in that booger.
It's about equivalent to 2 flight street kits.
That's right. I'm sure that's right.
Because that's how it got started. It's 2 wings.
I got 2 flight street kits out in the garage. I built one a long time ago, and I always was amazed. You can almost put that wing together, just snapping the parts in place. You know,
Yeah,
that old die cut sucker, you can snap it in place, build it in your hands.
That's the way it was designed. I built my first one in my lab.
I did too.
And it's amazing how well it flew so good that after I crashed it, and I mean I really did it in, but I rebuilt that sucker complete, and it flew again. You know, but I had to rebuild almost every rib in that wing.
George got a good do on that airplane. It'll fly pretty good.
Well, was it based on the Peacemaker, or was the Peacemaker based on it?
I don't know the history of that, John. I do not know.
Because I know the
remember, Mark,
guys.
The history of what?
of the Peacemaker and the Flight Streak.
No, I don't
George
know.
did both of those, but I don't know which one came first. I do not know.
I think the flight streak was first, but I don't know for sure.
I don't either.
Well, I know the guys in the UK and in Europe really like the Peacemaker.
It's a cool looking airplane.
Well, yeah. But
Not
if you
very
look at
big,
it,
but it's nice looking.
yeah, but it is a flight streak. It's just smaller.
It always amazed me how little the elevator's only that big, and that rascal would turn. It'd turn on a dime.
And give you change.
It'd get it. I built when Top Flight came out with that R Flight Streak, they would weigh like 22 or 23 ounces. And Tom Martin said, "Joe, you can't build one that light." And I bowed up. I said, "Yes, I can." So I got me a bunch of 16th and 32nd balsa, and I built a D-tube wing and sheeted it in like 64th balsa, super light. And that sucker come out 22 ounces, and it flew. I still got that airplane covered in silk.
Wow.
But it was so hard to build because every time you pick it up, you'd crack something. It was built out of too little wood. I even cap stripped the ribs, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't built like a flight streak. 64th balsa don't weigh much. I can tell you for sure.
No. Well, it sure flew well, but
They did.
unfortunately, the nose was just a little too short to get a full stump flight out of it.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't
That-
get a big enough tank in there unless you reset the tank back into the wing. I did
Chicken
that.
hopper. I think the chicken hopper, you could get a big enough tank on a chicken hopper with a LA 25 or a FP 25 to do it. I think a 3-ounce chicken hopper would fit with the
Probably
FP 20, 25.
Yeah,
That'd get you in there. But a Fox,
with a
they
small
wouldn't make
venture.
yep. How many of those rascals were built with Johnson 35s or whatever combat engines and probably had bladders in the wing? I don't know if they did that or not. I bet they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. That was the basis for a lot of combat ships in the 60s and 70s.
Yes. No
Gordy had-
Lynn tonight.
Gordy had one that would do about 130, 125,
Woo-hoo.
137 there.
Smoking fast. There's Phil Bailey.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, everybody.
Bill, did you get my message?
No, I didn't. What was it?
Well, I sent you some pictures and asked if you could get them to Buddy and to Kermit.
Well, I'll see them in the morning. Let me see if I got them. I'll see them in the morning. We're doing the Ringmaster Day. In
Yeah,
fact, my stuff is already in the car.
I gotta go get my stuff ready, so I gotta bug out here soon.
Yeah. No, we went out today and I flew it 3 times. First one was too fast, but I got through a pattern. Second one was too slow, but I got through a pattern. Third one was just about right, and I got blown out of the darn verticals.
Uh,
Mama bear, Papa bear, baby bear. He had them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I just about bought it on that third one. That wind took that thing. It was over here and started up around. As soon as I started up around, it said way back over here. I said, "Whoa, where are you going?"
Give it up or give it down, but do something.
yeah.
Well, I could give it anything I wanted to give it right then. There was so much slack in the lines, it wasn't gonna do nothing. So I went that away. The plane went that away. Thank good. Kept going that way. Thank goodness. The wind was changing direction so quick. It was crazy. We flew. I think the guys. I think Tommy and I think they flew 6 times, 5 or 6 times. And I told them I was done after I just flew 3 and I was about done. I said, I got enough fuel left to come back and fly tomorrow without opening another gallon. And I'm just not going to open another gallon of 10% knowing I'm not going to use it because it'll go bad over the winter. So I stopped so I'd have some for tomorrow. I'm going to make 2 or 3 flights tomorrow and call it a day.
I made 3 gallons of fuel today. My fuel just shows up missing. I go to the field that goes away.
Yeah. What percentage nitro did you make?
10. I made a 10 and a 20 and a 1029 caster for Foxes. So I made 10, 20, and 1029.
Wow.
We're going to Baton Rouge here, a couple weeks, I guess. It'll be hot down there.
Finding them yet, Phil?
Huh?
You find them yet, Phil? They should be in your inbox. I sent them about 4 hours ago.
Hey, Miss Colleen.
You wouldn't believe.
Miss Colleen, there she is. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, darling.
She's doing something prosperous.
Yeah, Vicky is too. She's fixing supper. We're late. Well, let me do it this way. Joe Bellcrank, where are you? John Miller, pictures. Yeah, John, I got it. There's a picture of the little plane, a picture of the bite, and a PDF of 2 bits. Oh yeah, this will work.
There's the one there is a PDF, is a layout of the colors and the
Yeah.
pattern.
Well, I like the original landing gear better. I like that. The
That
curve.
curved landing gear, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I c-
sharp.
I've found that landing gear since, from some company in China that is making them out of carbon fiber. They're quite reasonable, but I can't remember who they were. But you get on there and you start looking, you'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
That what aerobatic airplane used that curved landing gear, Joe?
Wasn't it an extra 300 had that curved gear?
XLS,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one downstairs about 2/3 built, and the reason it's not finished is same as always, dang paint. I did decide to do Patty Wagstaff's after seeing her perform here at our air show. And that checkerboard around all those compound curves is not easy to make it keep going. So you have to do 1 or 2 rows of it at a time, and it ain't easy.
You gotta paint them blue and put a black nose on them and call it a day. Shine, baby, shine.
Yeah. I'm telling John, if you got some more pictures of 2-bit, send them, because I wouldn't have to look at too many pictures of that thing to have one.
Well, that's, as far as I tell, it's the only picture I got of it. I thought I had a bunch of them, but I couldn't find them today. That's the only one I could find. So
That's
they're
a big
somewhere.
airplane. That's
It
a
is
big
a big-
airplane, Phil.
Actually, it's only about 700 squares.
The plans are sitting in here laid out, looking at the fuselage on my kitchen table. Been there for 2 days. And I looked at those things and my God, I can't believe, am I gonna be able to hold this thing down?
No.
That's a
It
big
flies
airplane.
very nice, and it's it's not light on the lines, it's comfortable on the lines.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, after looking at this today and all the talk we talked about it this morning and at lunch, because all 3 of us go out to lunch when we get through flying. And we talked about, this was the subject of talk today. Tommy Looper has seen it. And he just loves the shape of the wings. Well, I do too, for that matter. It's what drew me to it in the first place. But he says, I'd love to build one, but he says, I'll never live long enough to get around to it. But I told him I might not either, but it's sure on my list of ones to do. It moved a whole lot closer to the top. Kermit says he's going to do it. Kermit says he's going to build it.
Phil, there's another wing, a mod for a larger, it's still a high aspect ratio. That's longer, more area on the top wing that I haven't sent out to anybody, but
that might be, that could be the cure.
it might be.
If it makes more lift than the bottom wing when they start buffering, that could be the cure.
Well,
but
that's why
I noticed my ringmaster today when we were talking about that. My ringmaster today, the first flight, when I started flying it and trying to hit a corner hard, it stalled and it quivered through it was a climb. And it kind of quivered through it. So the next time I did the climb and dive, and then I did a climb again and flew through it. And Tommy says, the second one looked a lot better, but you only get credit for the first one. I said, yeah, but I haven't flown this plane since Brodak a year ago. Not the one that was this year, last year. And I didn't fly it but once or twice then because I was having tank problems. I brought it back home almost unflown. I only flew it twice, I think, and fixed the tank and have not flown it since till today. And I didn't even remember that I had been having tank problems until I was halfway through the flight. Wait a minute, last time I flew this thing, it was having all kinds of tank problems. Didn't have any tank problems today. I don't know. But anyway.
Well, that airplane, the 2-bit flight, it doesn't have a problem going in, starting into the squares. It's that last turn on the squares, and I think I need more power, better kind of power. So that's why I go to electric. I think it needs shorter lines. I was on 67-foot center to center line.
Oh,
Lord.
That's way too big.
Yeah. And then I think it could use a 7 to 10% increase in size on the rudder, the vertical stabbing rudder. And I think, I don't think I need to have any, I've got both wings at 0-0 thrust, and I like it that way because your level flight is nice and smooth. You're not fighting it. It's not fighting you. And rounds are really nice. And the only problem it has is that last corner, that coffin corner on the squares. And that, I think, is, again, go to electric power,
Mm-hmm.
shorter lines, a little more stab and rudder, and maybe make the top wing a little longer, keep it the same fore and aft, so it's a little higher ratio, and stuff, and not use flaps on the upper wing, just use flaps on the lower wing.
Take that same airplane, put 20% nitro on 64-foot lines, and have a nice day.
Yeah, nitro is the key, yes.
Put 20% in it. It'll like it. It
I
won't
would
slow down in
argue-
the corners in.
Well, that was
I
the
would-
problem, because with those long lines in that, you could see it visibly slowing down in the
Yeah.
climb. And
Put
then
that sucker
across
on
the top, it
62
didn't have
foot
enough
lines.
time to get any speed back.
That's right.
But that was going downhill. It was really slow because the top was holding it back. And you get that bottom one, and oh, you know?
Well, I tell you
got
what,
to shorten the line.
Yeah.
I've got a set of 63s that I've been flying on my 38 special, or my SC5A. And y'all have seen pictures of the SC5. Well, it's in this month's it's on this month's calendar. Little SC5A is it's on 63-foot lines, and it's got a Royal 40 on it with a 40, the FSR looking Royal 40. It's been Randy Smith tuned, and it's got a little bitty Venturi in it. I didn't want to put a bigger Venturi in it, so I went and borrowed some 15% nitro. Joe, that cured its problem.
I'm trying to help you. Just trying to
I've
help.
always flown on 5%. I've never flown on anything but 5%. I put 15 in that thing, and I'm telling you what, that thing, I think it's been watching Tim, whatever his name, Tim
the Tool Man.
Tim the Tool Man, because it was a belch fire, baby. That thing was running.
And it doesn't go any faster. It just
didn't
don't
go any. It got me. It didn't go any faster, but boy, it went.
Don't give up.
No, it got to that corner and it always wants to bark with me, and it just. I said, "Well, this
How about
is
that,
nice."
sports fans?
Yeah. Now I just got to learn to put automotive paint or something on the front of the plane so it don't eat the paint off.
Take a napkin and put it where it can't leak on it. 15% will hurt dope.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you. 10, it don't like 10. Even 10 sitting on it will turn it white. And that stuff's dark green. But I learned something on that airplane. I painted that airplane. I painted it the fuselage and I monocoated the wings. And I did the underside of the wings in gray. You know, World War I airplanes were not gray underneath. Muslin, tan.
Tan colored.
Yeah, it's a tan
That's the
color.
color of the linen, probably.
That's what it is. It's just muslin, linen.
Painted clear.
Yeah. I wish I had a
Isn't
way.
that nice? Well done. I remember seeing pictures of those airplanes years ago.
Well,
That
I tell you
ought to
one
be a
thing.
stunt
I'm
ship.
gonna have one of them, I think. But don't look for it in the next year or so, because I've got 3 of John's airplanes to finish, along with several others.
What engine's in that, John?
Well, this one had a Stalker 60 in it. Then it went up to an 81. And it's still.
I don't know nothing about stalkers. I've heard they don't like nitro, so I don't know nothing about that.
They don't. Well, Gordon proved that different. He was running 30% nitro in my Stalker 51 at the Nats, and his. I think he had that in his Pathfinder LE. One of the last times he flew at the Nats, and he said it growled through the pattern, but I was running FAI fuel, so I didn't have the power. And see, the wings split apart here. And they split apart, and so it comes out. You got 4 wing halves. These unbolt on both sides.
Oh, I
This,
thought it was two wings is two wings. It comes apart as four.
Yeah, and then
Okay, I gotta look.
this unbolts here and comes up.
I saw
And
that.
this comes off,
Yeah.
and you can take the gear off, and you can fit it in a box that's as long as it's there to the fit
Yeah.
the fuselage. I mean,
What is that? A 60-inch span or a little bigger?
I don't think it's 60 yet.
That's not 60. It's about 54.
Not 60,
About 54, yeah.
54. That's not.
But
What's
it's
it
about
weighing? 68 ounces?
somewhere in that area, yeah.
Uh-huh. You know, you can make the elevators bigger with gurney flaps if you want to make them bigger just to get more elevator and less flap.
Yeah, that's true. But see,
If the flaps are slowing it down.
I've got a flap here and here, and I'm running both flaps on both wings.
Right.
I can lock the upper wing to it or set it so
I don't know what's best on that.
but I think I need more rudder. This rudder just isn't tall enough.
You don't think?
I don't think so. But I think it would on the right size lines and the adequate power, it'd probably fly fine.
I'm sure it would.
But I think it wouldn't turn its nose down and having 10% more rudder and stay a vertical stab on it.
Well, it's got a lot of side area, John. That's a big fuselage.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's got a lot of side area. To me, big rudders downwind want to blow the airplane in at you. You know, downwind on outside squares, the rudders want to blow it in at you because they're blowing out.
This has a fairly decent amount of side area up front.
That's got a lot of stuff going for it.
Yeah. But there's that gear. I've got to find that in carbon fiber. Right now it's got a straight carbon fiber gear.
I really like that thing, John. That's a beautiful airplane. If it don't, the only thing I was worried about is pulling my darn arm off because that's a lot.
That doesn't weigh but 68 ounces. That won't be no big deal. Make the
The
lead out
S11 don't
adjustments
weigh
up
that,
down
and it
forward
about pulls
back.
my arm off.
You can make that work.
This one is designed to the point where it won't pull your arm off. It is comfortable to fly. I don't like airplanes that pull my arm off. I want to have tension out there, but I don't need it to be 20 pounds worth of pull. You know,
That's me.
Nose heavy airplanes. What makes
I just want about 3 pounds everywhere. That's what I want. About 3 pounds everywhere. Ringmaster is, I mean, this is going to sound stupid because we've all flown Ringmasters and we know they don't pull. But that Ringmaster is with a 25 on it is just about perfect. It's got tension everywhere. Even the top of an hourglass, that silly thing is there, and you know
still
it.
pulling.
Yeah.
You know, not many people know this, but the two best bipe is the granddaddy of a bunch of monoplanes. There's the two bits itself, which is for 25 to 35 size airplanes. It has a single wing, but it's mounted a little higher than this and that. And then there's the four bits, which is for 40 and 50 size. And then there's the 6 bits, which is, of 60 size and that, but they're all monoplanes. And it has very similar lines on the fuselage, but just a single wing.
Yeah.
I put a Roadjet 67 rear exhaust in that's so quick it'd make your head spin.
It would handle it.
Airplane. But I think I'm gonna put a 35-20 in it at least, and I might go a little bigger than that. I've got a 4250 downstairs. It's a spare, and I may just think about throwing that in it.
Well, there's nothing. The power. They say power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Well, maybe, but I think absolute power in a stunt plane, you can always, if you got too much, you can always turn it down. But if you ain't got enough.
Yep. One of the nice things about that biplane design compared to other biplanes that I've flown is that it tracks really nice in level flight. It doesn't hunt. It tracks really nice in the rounds. The only problem it had was in the square corners. and usually in the coffin corner. And that was because I think, well, I've already gone over what I think the problem is.
Yeah.
But it lost my train of thought. It's
What it needs.
I know what it is. What the best part of it is takeoffs and landings. Takeoffs are like automatic. You know, they're just and landings. A lot of times with the bike, your power shuts off and it drops like a rock.
Yeah.
This one doesn't. You can be 10
What's
feet.
highest spec wing helps that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll glide. You can fly that in FAI because there's no problem. You know, you can start 10 feet above the ground and you can make that full lap around with no problem. You know,
Well, that's something my SE5 won't do. When the power quits, don't throw down in it, but don't put up in it either. Just let it go and just let it fly to the ground and then throw just a little touch up in it when
That's
it
what a
lands.
bislav does. When a bislav quits, you're not whipping it a lap.
No,
Don
you might
Hutchison
whip it a quarter lap, but that's
Don
about it.
Hutchison he built a Stearman with a round fuselage.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
I
Yes,
saw
sir.
Bob
Flew it at SE,
Bart
flew it
fly
at
that.
Tucson.
That was
Bart
the
flew it at
best
Tucson.
flying biplane I ever flew. I've flown that in a big biplane called a Foxy. You ever heard of a Foxy biplane?
Yeah.
Heard of it, never seen one.
It's a little bit heavy, but that little Stearman of Don's would fly. You could fly it. It would do a pattern.
Oh yeah. Martin did a heck of a pattern with it. It was the first flight on the airplane at Tucson.
Yeah, Tucson.
Yeah.
Don built 2 or 3 of them.
He brought
Yeah,
that
he did.
thing
He
out
gave
Tucson.
one of
It had
them
a
to-
40 in it, mounted kind of sideways.
A little
and the muffler,
sideways, down at 40 degrees or something.
Yeah, and the
I
muffler
flew
went straight
that
out the
very
back.
airplane.
He gave one of them to Mike Cavell.
And he gave one. His granddaughter's got the other. She's a naval aviator.
Oh yes.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you
I'm
what.
gonna cut out. I'm gonna go flying in the morning.
Have fun.
Oh, you rascal. I'm going in the
Good night,
morning. You
Paul.
gonna fly Ringmaster?
Maybe I'm gonna try to get tuned up for King Orange.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
somebody should
Ringmaster
build a-
Day, man. Let it rip.
Somebody should build a wind-up Ringmaster on rubber power.
There you
Oh,
go.
my word. Oh, my word.
Y'all later.
Take care of
John?
yourself. Have a good weekend.
There is one on YouTube.
Is there?
Yes.
A Brazilian guy did a rubber band powered control line plane out of a ring
Oh,
mast
my gosh.
Inside a building, wasn't it?
inside
Mike?
a building on a whole bunch of tables that are
That's
all put
right.
together, maybe
That's
8-foot
right.
lines. And then he was flying 2 up.
2 at a time.
Oh,
It was
my gosh.
incredible. Wind up ringmasters on tether. They were tethered.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
goodness.
Man, it's
Well,
hard to
it's
think
gonna
of
show you.
anything now that ain't already been done. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to find something that hadn't been already done.
Well, I tell you what, we were talking before about canting the wing on that on 2-bits. I went back and reread the article on the 38 special. And if you want to read an interesting one, find that in Model Aviation and read it, where Tom Dixon wrote about that, because he really looked into that apparently. And he tells about canting the upper wing up a degree and canting it down a degree. And both of them help in different places. But overall, your best is 1-to-1.
Yeah,
And then he tells how to find where to put your lines. Well, everybody said we had one guy here that is not a Tom fan. Tom and I've been friends for 50 years. I've known him 50 years. We've been friends about 40 years. But anyway, he is quite smart. If Tom Dixon talks, I'm going to listen, because he is very opinionated, but he's very smart. Don't discount what he says just because he's a bit opinionated, because he's knows his stuff. Well, he told me how to figure out where the lines need to be on that airplane. My 38 Special, or my SC5, is not adjustable. It is, but it isn't. You'd have to cut the lines and put them back through and rebend the ends and all that junk to make it movable. So I put it where Tom figured they needed to be, hooked it up, went out and flew it, and put a pattern on it the first flight.
Yeah.
Now you talk about a bunch of guys that were blown away, me included. I believe in what, if Tom researches it and figures it out, I'm gonna listen. You
I
do what you
think
want
on
to
the,
do.
I think, Phil, if you notice on the 2 bits by plans,
Hmm.
that lead out is adjustable on the inboard wing,
Yeah, up and down and
up and
sideways.
down and fore and aft.
Yeah, that's cool.
Has
And
to
This one,
be.
you
this one
can,
basically isn't. It's,
you can nail that center of gravity dead on.
yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's not gonna be this year, John, but it's gonna be probably 2 years, but I want one of those airplanes.
I just want to live long enough to see somebody else flying one.
Well, uh,
Drive
we're
up there,
talking,
Phil.
we're talking about, well, I can say Kermit's talking about it. I don't think it'd be that hard to talk Tommy into it. He just says he don't have a motor big enough for it. And Kermit and I are both talking electric, so I think
That's the
there's,
way I would go.
I think
Hey,
we're gonna have,
I
think
got
we're
an
gonna have
electric
one.
motor in the mail today.
What'd you get?
35 15,
Yeah,
40 kilovolt. Yeah,
yeah,
kilovolt.
yeah. I think it's a
All
good
I know,
motor.
John, is I'm still itching to take one of the wings off of that biplane and I'd turn it into one hellacious sports stunt plane with a
Oh,
hot
good.
with a hot 15, equivalent of a hot 15 on it.
Yeah, you got something there. I think it would work.
That'd be what is that? About 350 squares per wing?
About that. It's about 700 squares.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got though, when I was working on the fixes for it, I came up with a wing that's about maybe 10, 15% more area, but it's the same root cord. It's just lengthened a bit for the top wing.
Yeah.
If I need more square inches, I could just replace the top wing. And I think I probably should send that to you guys, Phil. So
Okay.
you
I'd like to see it. See, I haven't really studied the plans yet. I've just looked at it, just overall,
Yeah.
the looks. And
don't you
what I thought what got me is it looks like the center wing, the center post for the wing bolts into the fuselage there in the center, and a whole piece comes out.
it does.
Well, I didn't realize how the bottom wing comes off of it. I hadn't had a chance to look at that yet. But I said, well, hey, this thing's a take apart. I don't know if it'll fit in the car in one piece,
Oh
but if
yeah.
it comes apart, hey, it'll fit in the car. Because I've been driving that little C-Max, forget the pickup truck. I've been driving that 40-mile-a-gallon thing, and I'm loving it.
Well, that bottom wing has got a tab that it plugs in the back. Okay,
Yeah.
tabs in the end.
Like
So
a
when you
tongue,
bring the
and then
wing,
it rocks forward.
when you bring the wing together, it plugs into the back and then comes up, and then you bolt the landing gear on through the forward tabs.
That's what I thought. Okay. That's
And
cool.
I've got those. Oh, that's a good thing you reminded me. I believe I'm showing those as 3/32 balsa with 64th on each side. Don't do it that way. Use light balsa, light apply.
Light ply, yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. But that's gonna be one of those planes we're gonna lay out and look at a bunch and then start cutting parts and make a kit and build, because that's just too dang pretty not to build.
Yeah.
Only got 100 parts in the wings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the wings, and then
Just
100 more
100.
then 100 more in the
100.
fuselage.
Well, if
Hey,
you did one a minute, cut one rib a minute, you'd be done in an hour and a half.
listen, all you got to do is call up
Tank.
Balsa, National Balsa, and tell them you want a rib set for that wing. They've already got the files, and they'll laser cut you the set of files for it.
That'd be the gig.
That's what I'd do then. If they're
Yeah.
available, I would. Is Tank still cutting? I don't think he is. I thought he got
Isn't
out
he?
of
He
it.
may not be. Pat, is it Pat King?
Pat
I don't know.
cuts.
Yeah,
Pat
Pat
BJR
King in
cuts.
Illinois. Yeah.
BJR cuts down in Florida.
Yeah, but BJR can't cut anything more than about that big.
Oh, he can't? Okay.
No. I bought an ME 109 kit and no.
Brodak cuts.
Yeah, Brodak will cut for you.
Oh, okay.
Denny, do you want me to? I'll send you the files for the wings on it. Well, I'll just send you the files.
I appreciate that.
No
I
problem.
think I think it's a really cool airplane. I mean, I share with everybody else. I think, I'd love to see more work on that. I'll tell you what, if that airplane migrated its way to my friend in Tulsa, he'd fly the wings off it. All right. He'd be getting that thing ready to go.
I'd
So,
have it.
I bet
I'd
he
take it.
would.
I could. That biplanes are cool.
yeah. That's
I know.
it's like that to me, that's kind of a holy grail. I'd like to be able to build a decent biplane, In
Build you a
fact,
38
figure out
special.
some secrets and stuff and make it work.
Hey, that's right. You started a 38 special. How did it go? You didn't get it finished?
What, mine?
Yeah.
No, I went far enough, did the electric conversion for it. I set the build the wings and I just it hasn't risen to the top of the pile yet, but based on what I've read, and based on an RC plane I built and everything like that, I had planned on building it with +1 in the bottom wing and -1 in the top wing. And I think that was, to me, that was going to be the holy grail. So I'd like to try it.
Well, I don't know.
There's
built
something
mine 1-to-1, and it's that thing's fun. And mine's heavy. Mine's got foam wings. Mine's got foam wings. Then it's got I've forgotten the name of the paint on the fuselage, but it's heavy and too much of it. I didn't put any clear on it because it got too heavy with just what's there. And then I cleared the nose of it just to get something fuel proof as I could get. But it was that when we were first starting to use that rattle can stuff that was supposed to be so good, I forgot the name of it.
Probably Formula U.
Yeah, well, it was
Formula U.
No, it's not that one, because this one, if you got the good one, you had to bust a seal in the bottom and then mix it up, and it was epoxy.
2K clear.
Oh, okay.
And what I got was just the clear.
2K clear.
Okay, that might be it. But anyway, you have to watch it because 15% will flat melt the stuff. I found that out the hard way. So it's on my Ringmaster, it's on my SE5 both. And it is not as fuel proof as I had hoped it was. If you don't wipe it off as soon as you land, your plane gets real sticky. And it takes a week or two for it to dry out. So
that's sad. That's sad to go through all that effort with an epoxy and have that result. So.
Yeah, well, it is, but I'll learn, I'll do something different next time. I'm going to build a new Ringmaster.
So
I'm going to try, I hope to build a new Ringmaster. And I listened to my little buddy there from Tucson, from Joe. And I'm going to build one and not do all the fancy stuff to it. Just try to build one real light and take it to Brodak next year and just see if I can get the master to fly it one time and see if it's all right.
Hey, everybody. Let me read off the chats. We got Roy Lane says, like given. Steve Berry, evening. Bryce Rackley says, hi, everyone. Message from John Carradas. He is still in the hospital.
Oh, my.
Waiting on more tests before the heart operation. He says he is enjoying watching you sand, Sparky, and appreciates the show. And then Jared Hayes says, very cool plane, John. And Buddy Barbie says, like given. And let me see here. Dennis Admission says, 2 bits, straight, like delivered. And then Buddy Barbie says, show the pic of the Raven, please.
Oh, I can do that.
And that's what we got for chats. And we're about ready to
Well, John, can you get that picture up before he turns
I'm
off
working
the
on it
YouTube?
right now.
Okay.
John Carradas, if you're watching, get better soon, buddy. We miss you.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen,
Hear, hear.
John. We need you back. Need you back. So.
Len's here. Len, I built a lumber wagon to compete with yours. It's 60,
Oh no.
60 ounces with no clear on it.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's one that thing looks like an SV11 to me. I don't know. I guess it's the wingtips.
Yeah.
But I know it's not. I know the wing you put in it, but oh, that's cute. That is just cute.
There you go, buddy. And
sure.
check
I bet Buddy's at home taking pictures because that's sharp.
Check with Phil tomorrow. He's got this picture for you. That's a 2025, an OS25 FB there.
I may have to think about one of those myself, John. That's just cute.
I had two problems with this. I told
Yes.
everybody. I put the bell crank under
Too many
this one,
airplanes I want to build.
and I had to put a whole lot of tip weight out here and really increase the weight on it. I would build it now. I put the bell crank under the outboard one, and I run it back and run a carbon fiber rod across the elevator. But I also had it on too long lines. I had this on 64, 65 foot lines.
Ooh,
It didn't
that'll be
need
a-
it. That was way too long a lines.
ought to be 58.
Yeah.
I'd say no more than 60. But
Yeah, I fly
anyway,
my 25s on 68. I mean 58.
well, it's a
Golly.
fun flying little airplane, and it flew real nice, except when I tried to make maneuvers because it got too much line whip. It had
Yeah.
so much line bellying out, and so I'd
John?
go up in that line and straighten it. Whoa, and that.
When you get back to flying, take that airplane, put it on 58 feet, and fly it on the new lines.
Yeah,
I've forgotten what you call them, but
Fishing
the new
lines.
lines. You are going to be amazed because the difference in just the line is incredible. And then the one thing you're going to do is take a bunch of tip weight out of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you just if you got 3/4
Well,
of an ounce in it, you just take half an ounce out and
I think
try
I had
that.
an ounce. I think I had an ounce and a quarter or to an ounce and a half.
Ooh.
Well, you can take about an ounce of that out just to start with and fly it from there. Because these new lines just don't have any drag.
Yeah.
I wanted
Well-
to fly mine today on the new lines, and I left that handle at home, had to fly it on the old steel ones, but I was just trying to get there today.
I'm real quick wanting to know, buddy, tell us what you thought of that before we shut down.
Type it in quick, buddy, or call me and I'll tell them if you can't get it typed in quick enough. Call me and tell me. I got my phone
Yeah.
right here, and I'll just
You
tell them.
got the YouTube channel opened up? Nope. Walk across the damn room. Thanks, Johnny says.
Thanks,
Okay.
John. Indeed.
Well done. The shortest lines, in my opinion, that you can fly the airplane on and manage it, you're better off. You
I know,
gotta
I
be
know.
happy, but the airplane surely, the globe, the shorter your lines, the better you go on that globe.
Buddy
Get that
Barbie
out
says he
further.
loves it.
Good. I'm becoming a believer on that, Joe.
I do.
I'd always thought about flying the longest lines I could get away with, but I talked to Les McDonald. And I asked Les, what length lines did you fly on? Because I figured he was going to tell me 70s or 68s, 58s.
Really?
That Venus,
He
the
said he
Venus
did
you
fly
saw
shorter
fly.
than that.
All right,
The
everybody,
Venus you-
watch. Let me
Okay.
end this YouTube channel. All right, everybody, thanks for watching us on YouTube. If you want to join the after party, you can go into Stunt Hangar and go to At the Bench, and they'll let you in, and they talk until whenever. So we'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
Good
See
night.
y'all.
Night, y'all.
That big old Venus flew on 58-foot lines, Phil.
Okay.
58.
I figured that because